I recognized early on that I have a purpose, and I strongly feel that way. And I call it a purpose-driven life. Maybe others have written about that.
Leroy Thornton Edwards Jr. has walked with lions and tigers, danced the samba in Brazil at Carnival, sailed to Antarctica.
Travel provides, it opens up a whole level of understanding, and that you start to look and you think more strategically on a global basis.
He has also given speeches to royalty in Saudi Arabia and established a business record that could rival the very best of American entrepreneurs.
I wasn't going to let anything stop me in terms of what I wanted to do. I knew I could achieve at very high levels.
Edwards grew up facing many harsh realities. In the civil rights era, in a small town in Virginia with segregated schools, separate pools, and separate water fountains.
The world sometimes tells you that you can't do it. And it not only tells you that, it shows you that it's very difficult to do. But that, to me, never really, I mean, it obviously hurt in some cases when there were things that I knew I could get that I was just denied simply because the way the world is in terms of racism, basically. However, that being said, that, some things can make you strong.
Edwards was forced to grow up fast. When he was only 9 years old, Edwards lost his father unexpectedly. But the memories and stories of Leroy Thornton Edwards Sr., a World War II vet, were forever etched in his soul.
He was in the military, and they tested him at that time, and he had a very high IQ. It was well over 140. That's what he tested at. And he came back, like many men came back from that war, and especially people of color could not find the types of jobs that the types of jobs that could really provide a living. So he worked in the factory sometimes, in the peanut factory, and but later on he had a burning desire, and I think I get that from him, to go into business for himself. So he founded a bookkeeping and tax service. And I do remember as a little boy going to his office. He had an office and he had a swivel chair, and I'd swirl around in the chair.
He was led by his strong mother Lorraine, who worked around the clock to put him through school at North Carolina A&T. It was there Edwards developed an unbreakable bond with Dr. Quiester Craig, who helped him get a scholarship to UNCG.
He got in his car and he drove me over to the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. And I met with Dean Shelton, the president or the head of the School of Business, Dr. Craig and I and Dr. Shelton. And we talked about my aspirations and that type of thing, and that I wanted to get a scholarship and wanted to do that. The next thing I knew, a little bit of time passed by, I was awarded a research assistantship, full pay scholarship.
He went on to further his education at NYU. Soon after, Edwards landed his first job at Colgate-Palmolive. But his real success began when he met the love of his life, Margot, in 1976. They married a year later and built a business empire together in love. She
saw my vision, and I saw her vision. You can't travel down this road in this business world alone sometimes. And she's been very much an asset to me in terms of my progression.
While raising 3 children with Margot, Edwards worked for several companies and eventually Anheuser-Busch, where he put his belief in his dreams to the test. He came up with a plan to manufacture soft drink cans to other companies.
I never forget presenting directly to August Busch a plan that I had, a vision that I had that would get them to where they wanted to be. I'd given my presentation with all the numbers and the justification for doing it. He said, "Edwards, if you think this is such a good idea, go out and get me my first can contract." Well, I put my papers away and packed up and went out, and I did just that.
Edwards was instrumental in creating the company billions of dollars in revenue as a result. Years later, he moved his family, wife Margot, daughters Tara, Kelly, and son Lee, to Metro Detroit and became a distributor for a long list of foods, including Eagle Snacks and Famous Amos cookies.
I was looking very aggressively at coming in and acquire one of their Eagle Snack wholesalership, and which I did, which was in Detroit, Michigan.
But Edwards had bigger plans. He went on to own 40 Taco Bells and KFCs and several Shell gas stations.
It's very labor intensive, very brand focused, very popular items, very profitable, and it really took us into another element of the game.
In 2004, he bought that beer distributorship he always wanted in Twin Falls, Idaho, selling a large variety of beer, including the Miller Coors portfolio of beverages, as well as Heineken, Corona, Modelo, and Boston Beer, just to name a few, and more than 100 top-selling wines, including Gallo, Sutterholm, and Kendall Jackson. Within time, he had acquired distributorships in all of southern and eastern Idaho, merging the companies into Tech Distributing of Idaho. Most importantly, he always made it a priority to give back and has received many honors and awards from state institutions and legislators.
Been involved in is the Entrepreneurship Center at both universities, North Carolina A&T and also the University of North Carolina Greensboro, in terms of helping students understand entrepreneurship.
Edwards and his wife now have 4 grandchildren. Spending quality time with his family is one thing he treasures most.
We love our papa so much. And he's the best papa ever.
Another thing of the highest importance to him is to provide generational wealth, so his children and grandchildren can step on his shoulders to see the world from a view most people can never imagine, and empowering young Black aspiring entrepreneurs and students to never give up on your dream.
To whom much is given, much is expected, and I've always felt the need as well as the goal of doing just that.
In all of the success Edwards has achieved, being inducted into the NBCA Hall of Fame comes full circle. For this proud Aggie, it's priceless. It's a journey and a dream he hopes can inspire others.
The purpose-driven life has a lot of religious connotations to it. It has the type of thing that is inspired, a life inspired by God and the belief in God. A life that is inspired by giving back to people. You can't accomplish things unless you have people and organizations to do that. And then divine in a sense that opportunities pop up. It's amazing.